Farmers sue Monsanto, Bayer over use of Roundup pesticide. 2 Canadian farmers have filed a class action suit in Nova Scotia Supreme Court against Monsanto and Bayer over the use of Roundup.
Here's a summary of the article.
2 farmers have filed a proposed class action lawsuit against Monsanto and Bayer on the use of Roundup, a commonly used weed killer. The claim alleges Mitchell and Hutton were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma after using Roundup. Roundup is a glyphosate-based herbicide made by Bayer-owned agrochemical giant Monsanto. Hutton, who is from Ontario, bought a farm and used Roundup as a defoliant herbicide without any warning to use protective gear. There is some competing notions with respect to the safety of glyphosates and Roundup with respect to unprotected use, lawyer Raymond Wagner said Friday. Wagner filed the proposed class action lawsuit with the Nova Scotia Supreme Court after 2 class actions, in Saskatchewan and Quebec, were filed against Monsanto and Bayer in May. There are more than 13,000 lawsuits in the U.S. against Monsanto and Bayer. The lawyer said multiple studies have linked Roundup and glyphosates and non-Hodgkin lymphoma, but Health Canada hasn't said there's a connection.
This post received a score of 5,196, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
They want to be called Bayer now to avoid any of Monsanto's negative associations.
Because the people who invented heroin have positive associations. You do realize how many people take heroin, or to give it its medical name diamorphine, every day in hospital, right? And how many people have been able to avoid unbearable pain due to taking that same drug first produced by Bayer?
They also really like to try and hide the addictive nature of opiates and push their use for treating pretty much any pain symptoms.
Big Pharma gonna Big Pharma.
Didn't Bayer invent Zyklon B as well? They didn't invent it but bought the rights to produce it in 1930.
Who did invent it then?
Fritz Haber, a German Jew who also figured out how to extract nitrogen out of the air and make fertilizer with it, also explosives.
Now I know why it's called the Haber process.
Greater than the International Agency for Research on Cancer of the World Health Organization released a report in 2015, indicating glyphosate is most likely carcinogenic to humans, and is linked to an increased risk of non-Hodgkin lymphoma. This is your non-regular reminder that the IARC is the only group saying this, and they put it in the same category as red meat and hot beverages.
And let's not forget this whole nasty business surrounding their assessment of glyphosate.
Let's not forget we can read email threads of Monsanto employees talking about their PR strategy and concerns with the safety of the surfactants used in Roundup here.
And #X200B. Even to a layman, these are obviously not the same chemical, and I think you know that, but are trying to conflate the two either way. It's like saying, yeah, if we mix milk with cyanide, the end product could be harmful, therefore, it is the milk that is harmful. You're being dishonest, or at very least, deliberately misleading.
Please provide peer-reviewed study about the problems with glyphosate. I'll start with a few on the safety of glyphosate. EPA, EFSA, FSCJ, glyphosate and cancer, CDC.
Our data is beautiful.
I'm still waiting for a credible study that actually supports this. There are plenty of completely legitimate reasons to hate large corporations that aren't directly contradictory to reality as we understand it.
I'm calling bullshit on the "without any warning" allegation. Product labels for pesticides have very detailed warnings and instructions about PPE.
I'll tell you what else, in Nova Scotia you need to take a course to get a permit to purchase it.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.